This is a 2016 Black Cherry Kia Sedona minivan. It has a push-button start, toys in every crevice, and it's filthy as all get out. This is Mongols and Cars getting pizza. So, Kev?
Oh, there's no cut?
There's no cut. There's no
I
cut.
thought there was a cut.
We're going straight into it.
Yeah, no, that's reasonable.
So, we're back together for a family outing, this time at the beautiful Deep Creek Lake in Maryland. And we've been tasked to run some errands, and we figured, what better time than to talk about how the Hounds have been doing. So, a few weeks ago, we said, hey, could this Atlanta game be a turning point? We won the last three, so
I think it's a turning point. I think we can call it a turning point now. 9 points in the last 3 games. The table's looking a little brighter with the games in hand and all that kind of stuff. And it's not only 9 points in 3 games. It's not only 3 wins in a row, but it's now the quick math in my head, 11 goals in 3 games, and 1 goal conceded.
12 goals. 12 goals and 1 conceded. Yeah.
Really?
We got 4 in the last one. It was 8 going into this last game.
Oh, that's right. It was 5 in Atlanta. I thought it was 4. Okay. Yeah, scoring goals for fun. Starting to keep, I mean, this wasn't a clean sheet this past weekend, but keeping more clean sheets, being more defensive. Yeah, I mean, even if we lose the next game or tie the next game, I think Atlanta was a big point in the season.
Well, and I think we get coming up next. We get Bethlehem on Thursday at Highmark, 4th of July game. Not that that's a gimme, because no games are a gimme, but it feels like this is a game the guys are going to get up for. They're going to come out to play, and then this weekend we have to play the Independents in Charlotte. Which again, the Independents, we played them earlier this season. They were on a bit of a slide. I think we drew them at one point. They had 10 men, and we still drew them. But they've got a couple key victories recently, so I don't want to say that's a gimme at all. But I think heading into this stretch, we were sort of saying, I think we set it at 6.5 as the over/under, and we were taking the over. Well, the Hounds got 9 out of that possible 6.5 over/under.
I was taking the under.
Yeah, and so, with these 2 games, we could realistically be sitting on 15 points in 5 games, which is crazy to think about heading into the Atlanta game.
Well, let's back up and talk about this past weekend's game.
Okay, so let's talk about this game. Couple of key things, couple of key moments. First of all, Kevin Kerr, all-time Hounds assist leader, which
26?
is huge. It's huge, yeah.
26 assists or something like that?
Huge. So kudos to you, Mr. Kerr. In typical Kerr fashion, he was asked about it after the game. He totally downplayed it. Like, you're on the club long enough. You hope to set some records, whatever. But both of them came off of crazy good crosses. Basically took it to the corner. Both times, I'm trying to remember if it was both times it was Mertz. I think both times it was Mertz. It was both Mertz, both times. And so, kudos to him. So that was one of the big things. I think the second thing we need to talk about is this growing relationship between Nico Brett and Stevie Dos Santos.
Yeah, for sure.
We talked about it a little bit last week, and what was funny was Dos Santos' goal was basically a mirror of Brett's from the previous week, where Dos Santos got it along the left side, lifted his head up, played the ball in space in front of Brett chipped the keeper. This week, the ball was played out wide to Brett, who played the ball in front of Dos Santos with room. Dos Santos dribbles in. It wasn't as high a chip, but he still chipped the keeper. And so that's huge. I mean,
it does feel like there's a growing partnership between them now. Once again, don't want to take anything away from, Dos Santos scores the goal, but Brett's pass to lead to Dos Santos' goal was incredible. Outside of the foot, curls it around. That it wasn't an easy pass to make. I think so often you put a little bit too much on it, and it's easy for the keeper to come out and claim. And if you don't put enough on it, then Dos Santos isn't one-on-one with the keeper anymore, and he has a defender on his back. So it does seem like they're starting to get this connection. And I think it kind of speaks to the growth, the bigger picture of this is now. I don't know how many games in a row, but we've talked about it previously. This is the same starting lineup we've seen now
for at least the past 3 weeks. At least getting results, yeah,
if not more. So you're starting to see. You're giving these guys time to develop relationships and to kind of, get that mental connection of understanding where the other one's going to be in any moment of any point in the match. And yeah, I think we see that pay off in Brett's goal last week and to Santos' goal this week.
Yeah. And what do you think? I mean, it's tough because we've talked a lot about Valesky as well, and Valesky scored in this one. I mean, he got the fourth goal for the team.
Yeah.
But at this point, I feel like you have to keep going with the Brett Dos Santos pairing.
Absolutely. No, and I think Josh made the good point last week of, or maybe, I don't know if it's last week, but I mean, to be able to bring Valesky and Velarde off the bench, I mean, that's no bad thing.
And Velarde got the assist on Valesky's goal,
right,
too, which is like, yeah.
They could be growing a little partnership there, too. So, yeah, I mean, it's obviously Valesky and Velarde, they want to start. They're professional players, and they don't want to be coming off the bench all the time. But for the kind of greater good of the club, I mean, it's great to be able to bring those two off the bench.
Absolutely agree. I think this is probably what Coach was sort of hoping for when he started the season and brought Dos Santos. And we know that Brett picked up a knock early on and sort of had to work his way back in. So it's good to see that happening. Do you feel like this is a case of something that Lily has basically put into place finally coming to fruition, or is it guys just warming up? Like, why all of a sudden do things just seem to be clicking in your mind?
It's consistency. It's a consistent run with the same guys around you. I mean, maybe next week we'll go back and actually look at the numbers surrounding this, but I would have to guess in the early part of the season it was rare to have the same starting lineup from week to week.
Oh, definitely up top. Like
especially up top. Yeah. And so I think, I mean, that has an effect, right? I mean, when you're, especially, I mean, Dos Santos, this is the first year he's playing with Brett and all this kind of stuff. I mean, it takes a while for partnerships to develop, and when you're constantly chopping and changing, week in, week out, it's not easy. And so, I don't know. To me, it's. I would put all my money on the fact that it's these guys getting a run in the side together, and I mean, it's not just wins. It's 4-0, 5-0 wins. It's and we look confident, and we look put together. So I don't know. I think that's kind of what it is.
I mean, you said it, 12 goals in 3 games.
Yeah.
Where prior to that we were averaging 2 goals, maybe 2.
Maybe if we're lucky. Now probably less.
Is any part of you concerned that, I don't want to say we're peaking too early, but like, I'd love to see this. I'm not disappointed by this at all, but we saw this a little bit last year where the Hounds got hot mid-season and then sort of like fell off. Are you concerned at all?
Well, no, because I think last season it wasn't necessarily that the Hounds got hot. I think it was that Brett got hot, and I think we were too reliant on Brett last season for all our goals. I can't remember the numbers, but yeah, sure. I mean, mid part of the season, Brett was pushing for the Golden Boot. But after Brett, it was a huge drop off, and who was getting the goals? And in this game, Dos Santos gets his goal, Mertz scores twice. Who's Valesky gets the fourth.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're seeing goals from everyone. I think that's what I'm most happy about. And I mean, let's move on to Mertz now and talk about him.
Well, I was gonna say, Josh did some digging and put it out on Twitter. Mertz now has 4 goals in, I can't remember how many.
Like 900 minutes?
Yeah.
950 minutes or something?
So, like, he's played far less minutes than any other player on the team, and he has 1 less goal than our team leader, which is Nico Brett, who has 5.
Yeah.
And I think a few of Brett's were PKs.
Yeah.
So, like, Mertz is getting from the run of play. I was expecting good things from Mertz. Like, I think we've talked about his distribution is great, his vision is great, he's great in the midfield. I don't think I was necessarily expecting him to put goals away.
No, I think this is all around committing more players forward. I mean, like, Mertz gets his goals plural by arriving late in the box.
Yeah.
And Dos Santos and Brett are in the box ready. It's committing that third body in the box, and it's not it's not rocket science. I mean, so Mertz gets his first goal, which was a great goal. I mean, he's not a big guy, and he still wins a header in the box and puts it away. It's a great header. He had pressure on him. But even then, it wasn't like he was rising up above 2 defenders. I mean, we had enough players in the box where, their defenders were committed to picking up 1 player each, and so you can't. There was no doubling up that they could do. Same thing was with this second goal. The center backs get drawn by Brett and DeSantos, and Mertz arrives late in the box, and he just has a little toe poke. I don't want to take it away. It was a tough finish, but when you're unmarked, 7 yards out, you're expecting to score. So I think it's, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's Lily taking off the leash and letting these guys go, or if this is something that it's just unspoken and Mertz is like, I got to get forward more. It is interesting though how Mertz does seem to be the one who goes more than Forbes. But which I have no problem with it. I'm just kind of making a comment of it. But I mean, what a player!
Yeah.
Like Mertz is. I mean, so I think, especially after this past game, I think it's undeniable that Mertz so far is at least my player of the season so far.
Yeah, no, I can't disagree with that. I think one of the interesting things that I noticed on both of the Mertz goals is something that when Justin was on earlier in the season, he was really harping on, and the fact that we were getting guys up the field. James and Dover were both getting up the field and putting in crosses. The problem was we had one person making runs, which was typically Dos Santos. On each of those goals, we had 3 guys in the box making runs.
Yeah.
And when that happens, good things tend to happen.
Yeah.
And on the one Mertz goal, Dos Santos actually ducked under it. Like he drew a player to him, ducked under it, and Mertz was right there behind him to finish it.
And honestly, I want to see more. Like
yeah.
It's got a 4th body in the box.
Yeah,
Like,
do it.
This is.
All right, so let's look ahead. Okay, we've got, obviously, as we already mentioned, we got Beth Steele on Thursday.
Yeah.
We've got Charlotte on Saturday away.
Yeah.
You're Lily. We've talked about how consistency has sort of been the key, we think, to some of these victories, including getting people in the box and all of that. But how do you approach this? What lineup are you going? Are you going with a not what's been the past 3 games starting lineup for this game at home?
I mean, I think it's just a question of fitness, right? That has to be the only thing you have to consider. If you're looking around and you have your, physios or whatever saying, like, I don't know if these players can go again and do 3 games in a week, then, yeah, you have to look at rotating. The likes of... The only people that I think might need a rest is maybe the likes of Forbes. I mean, Mertz is, I feel like, young enough where he could probably go again, no problem. Although it's just, I don't know how much pressure you want to put on a young kid, really. I mean, because he is still young, right? And he's, so I don't know. Kerr probably can't do 3 in a week. So to me, I would just be looking at if these players can go again. But I mean, if they can, there's no reason to change them. I mean, you can't make an argument for anyone dropping off in quality. So I mean, yeah, the physical has to be the only consideration. I think maybe in the likes of Forbes and Kerr might be the only ones who might need a break. Hey, wing backs as well. I don't know. James runs a lot and all that kind of stuff. But
I mean, I think if I'm Lily, my thought is, let's put on a show 4th of July at home, and if anybody needs a break, you give them a break on the weekend. You go into Charlotte.
Yeah, the 4th of July game is definitely the biggest one. Yeah, like if you're thinking about it in a larger picture outside of purely, like numbers and results and points and all that kind of stuff. If you think about it in a larger context of what's good for the club, what's good for growing fan base, yeah, I mean, 4th of July has to be it.
Yeah, no, I agree. So, yeah, we went from basically, hey, this feels like the Hounds 2 to 3 years ago, to that sense of excitement coming back, which is good.
I can't remember the last time we've scored so many goals.
I don't think we have. I think somebody actually did put out numbers. I can't remember who it was. It might have been Geica. Apologies if it's not Geica. But basically saying, like, the Hounds have never scored this many goals in this span of games ever before.
Perfect timing, too.
Perfect timing.
For the charity thing.
Perfect timing.
What the Steel Army raised.
The Pride Raiser. Yeah.
Over 2,000, I think?
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Incredible.
It's great stuff. So, yeah, hopefully the Hounds keep it going. We're into July. We made it through June. I don't think we lost at all through June. I can't remember when the first game was. I'm totally making that up now just because I feel really good. That's how we're doing.
it feels right.
It feels great.
Forget about facts. Let's go on feelings.
Yeah. Kerr's on the moon. Anything else you want to talk about?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, okay. Thanks, everybody, for listening. We know this is a shorter episode. Like we said, we are in the car together, so we figured, heck, let's do it. We'll throw it up on YouTube. We'll still make a podcast out of it. Obviously, thanks to our sponsors, Golden Goal Press and Roughneck Scarves. We won't go through the whole spiel. You already know that. If you have tickets, which I don't know if you can still get tickets to the 4th of July game, make sure you get down to the field, tailgate, have a blast, put on a good show for all of us who can't be there. And yeah, can't wait to see what happens these next 3 games. Quick prediction: we've got 3 games. We've got Steel, Independence, Tampa. I'm setting it again at 6.5 points. You taking the over, the under?
Okay, wait. Bet Steel's home.
Bet Steel's home.
And then the next 2 games are
away.
Yeah.
And I think Tampa's home.
Yeah, because we already played Tampa.
We played Tampa away, so Tampa's home. 6.5 points. What are you taking? That's 2 wins and a draw.
It's about where I would put it. I don't know. I'll say under again, but I think it's just under.
You think it's 6 points?
Yeah.
You think it's 2 wins and a loss?
At least, and I think 7 is also reasonable with the current form we're in. But
2 wins and a loss, or a win and 2 draws. I'll take the over. I'll say we get 2 wins and a draw, and that puts us at 7. I can see us maybe Charlotte is the only one, because I just don't know how we're going to be fitness wise.
I think we'll beat Best Steel on the 4th of July. Yeah, Charlotte is the only question mark, I think.
Okay, good. That's Kev. I'm Mike. Thanks for listening and watching. If you like these sorts of videos, let us know. Maybe we'll try to do more of them in the future. Who knows? And I guess we'll talk to you very, very soon.
Later.
Blah.